Yo, what is going on everybody? My name is Tyler and welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video I wanted to go ahead and redo one of my older videos, a video I uploaded about 6 years ago. As you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about some of the best ways to smoke weed indoors without having any sort of smell. A lot of these tips are tips that I've used throughout the years personally, and they can be super helpful tips dependent on your living situation. Say you have a landlord or a parent or somebody else that you live with who doesn't like the smell of weed in the house. These are some ways to get around smoking weed with those type of situations. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the very first tip of the video. And that tip is a super common one, probably one of the most common ones that you're going to hear on this list. And that item in question would happen to be a sploof. It's a little device that you can either purchase online or go ahead and make one at home yourself. They can range in shape and size. You'll see ones that look very similar to like a little pen or a marker. And like I said, if you go ahead and make one at home, it's going to look a little bit something like this. The way you go about making one of these devices is you want to save the cardboard insert from a roll of toilet paper or a roll of paper towel. And essentially what you're going to do is just load the entire roll with as many dryer sheets as you possibly can, and then take 1 or 2 paper towels or napkins and go ahead and layer them on top of each other and rubber band them to the end of the device. What you're going to be doing with this device is using it to blow your smoke through, basically using it as like an air filter, and that single tip alone will greatly decrease the smell of marijuana around your house or the smell of just smoke. And the second tip that I want to bring up is totally relevant to how you consume your marijuana or your medicine. If you're somebody who frequently smokes blunts or joints, you might not want to try and smoke inside the house. Those two things consistently will smell the strongest when you're smoking them and have the most lingering scent, mainly because the weed is burning the entire time that you have that joint or that blunt lit. There is no downtime to where the embers aren't giving off smoke, and that smoke is the main thing that's causing the smell that you're having. And so with that in mind, a great way to cut down on the smoke is to not have any smoke at all. And what I mean by that is to invest in products such as vaporizers for flower or herb if you enjoy smoking flower, or to get a dab rig if you enjoy taking dabs and smoking concentrate or oil. Both of those two methods of consuming your cannabis will be incredibly discreet, and if you pair vaping weed or taking dabs with a sploof, you're basically going to get no smell, because when you're consuming cannabis that way, you are literally vaporizing the THC, primarily because there is nothing burning and no form of combustion when you're vaporizing or taking dabs, thus creating an incredibly discreet, non-strong aroma that can help you stay under the radar. The third tip that I have is to use a damp towel. Now what I mean by that is to take a towel like a hand towel and dampen it up a bit. Don't get it soaking wet, but just get it a little bit moist. And take that towel, roll it up, and stick it under the crack of the door, thus creating like a little chamber in your room, blocking off all sorts of forms of exits of air. After you put your damp towel underneath your doorway, make sure all of your air conditioning or central heat vents are closed. All of those vents will act like air pathways for all of your smoke and all that scent to travel throughout the rest of your home, apartment complex, or wherever you're trying to consume your cannabis, which is exactly what we don't want, so make sure those vents are closed. Now the idea with the towel here isn't inherently that it's going to make the weed smell less. The goal with the towel is to keep the scent confined into a singular location or a single room. Now if you use the sploof plus have the towel underneath the door and use a vaporizer or take dabs off an oil rig, and you make sure you have a window cracked in the room that you're consuming in, those 3 or 4 things alone are going to have you basically not smelling any sort of weed at all in the room. But let's say you just don't have a vaporizer or an oil rig, or you're just unable to acquire oil or a vaporizer where you are, then this 4th tip is for you. If you're only able to find flower and you don't have a vaporizer and you really want to smoke inside, instead of spending the money and going the vaporizer route, what you can do is pick up yourself like a cheap $15, $20 little spoon pipe glass bowl. And what you're going to want to do is pack yourself either single hits at a time or pack yourself a full bowl and have a quarter on standby. And the idea with this one is that you don't really want to let any smoke escape outside of your sploof. So with the single hits, obviously you just clear the entire bowl in one hit, exhale your smoke through the sploof, and boom, very minimal amount of smoke has escaped. And the second option with a full bowl pack, and this is where the quarter comes into play, what you want to do is light your bowl, take your hit, and as soon as you take that hit and you see the cherry or the ember on your bowl pack, you want to take your quarter and slide it over top of the bowl and hold the quarter over there with your thumb, essentially creating a small chamber inside your spoon pipe that doesn't allow the smoke to escape. This will help reduce the amount of smoke that goes through the air in the room that is unfiltered by your sploof, which, as we've said before, less smoke means less smell. And with that, this leads me into my very final tip. This is the hands down best tip out of all of them in my opinion. So from my personal experience, one of the best options for smoking weed inside without being detected or being discreet is to go ahead and go into your bathroom and turn that shower on as hot as you possibly can get it. Let your shower run in there at super hot temperature for about 5-10 minutes, get it real hot and steamy in there, and then turn the heat in the shower down to what you would normally shower at. Go ahead and smoke your weed using the methods that were provided in steps 1 through 4. If you use all of the previous steps on top of this in the shower, I can assure you you, you're pretty much going to be scent free the entire time and every time you go to smoke weed. But once you get your shower in your bathroom super hot, super steamy, you're going to want to go ahead and take your dab in there. You're going to want to go ahead and hit your bowl, your spoon pipe, do whatever you normally would do when it comes to smoking weed other than smoke a joint or smoke a blunt, because remember, those constantly burn. But pick your preference of consumption, go ahead and partake, smoke your weed, making sure you exhale through your sploof, blow out the window, etc. And when you're done smoking your weed, go ahead and hop in that shower and make sure you use extra shampoo, extra body wash, anything that's going to create more of a masking scent in the bathroom. The longer you can stay in the shower with the shower and the hot water running to create more steam, the more soap you can use to create more of a scent, the better it's going to work to entirely mask that smell of marijuana. So with all the water particles in the air from the steam and the condensation, it's going to help attract and suck in and absorb all of that smell from the weed. And if you follow all the steps properly, by the time all of the water evaporates, all the steam evaporates out of your shower when you're done, there isn't going to be any sort of smell, any sort of trace, or anything like that. You're just going to be nice and stoned and fresh clean out of a nice relaxing shower. But with that being said, I hope these 5 tips have helped you guys out when it comes to smoking weed inside. If there were any tips or any suggestions that I missed or that you know of that I didn't mention in this video, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I'd love to learn some more of these different hacks, as I'm sure many of the other people watching this would like to learn some more as well. And if any of these hacks or tricks ended up helping or working for you, be sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video down below. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.